Welcome to the invisible infrastructure powering the AI revolution. Every ChatGPT query, every AI training run, every time you stream a movie, there are tiny beams traveling through optical fibers at the speed of light, connecting massive data centers across the globe. And the technology that powers all of that, that's Lumentum. My name is Arjun Ramakrishnan, and I am a senior at Lake Oswego High School in Oregon. I also have the pleasure of contributing to YIS as the West Coast Vice President of the Student Advisory Board. I'd like to begin by thanking the Young Investor Society for the opportunity to present Lumentum Holdings Incorporated. Lumentum Holdings Incorporated, ticker symbol LIGHT, is listed on the NASDAQ exchange. The company operates in the optical and photonics manufacturing sector and falls under the industry classification of technology hardware. Based on my analysis, I've come up with a buy recommendation. As of January 2nd, 2026, the stock price stands at $386.11, and my target price for the next 12 months is $744.75, reflecting a 92% expected upside. But before I get into the details of the pitch, let's talk about what Lumentum actually does. Lumentum was incorporated in 2015 as a spin-off from JDS Uniphase Corporation and has grown into a critical enabler of AI infrastructure worldwide. The company designs and manufactures optical and photonic products, the chips that convert electrical signals into light and back again, which facilitates high-speed data transmission across cloud data centers and telecommunications networks. Lumentum's business model is built on vertical integration and technological leadership. Lumentum controls everything from indium phosphide wafer fabrication to complete optical transceiver modules, unlike its competitors who source their parts externally. Lumentum's business can be broken down into two segments: cloud and networking, which comprises optical components like EML chips and narrow linewidth lasers, optical transceivers, and switches that connect servers and AI data centers; and industrial tech, which provides high precision lasers for semiconductor manufacturing and EV battery production. Cloud and networking now represents 86% of total revenue and grew 30% year over year in 2025. This segment is where the AI infrastructure story shines, as AI companies depend on Lumentum's optical components to train their models. Let's take a look at Lumentum's competitive positioning now. Lumentum operates in the highly specialized photonics industry with key competitors such as Coherent and Broadcom. When performing a moat analysis, I noted that Lumentum benefits from three main factors: vertical integration, which allows them to control the entire process from chip fabrication to complete products; technology leadership and scale advantages, with 50 to 60% market share in the supply-constrained market for EML chips; and high switching costs, as customers cannot easily qualify alternative suppliers without substantial time, cost, and research. Using Porter's five forces, I analyzed Lumentum's market position. Competitive rivalry is moderate to strong given competition from established players. However, other forces like threat of new entrants and bargaining power of suppliers are weak due to high capital requirements and Lumentum's vertical integration. Lumentum presents a strong investment opportunity driven by four key factors. First, the industry increases in AI infrastructure represent a huge opportunity, with the photonics industry projected to expand at a 30.2% compounded annual growth rate due to AI applications. Second, Lumentum's dominant 50 to 60% market in EML chips during a multi-year supply shortage creates significant pricing power, with chip demand exceeding industry capacity through at least 2026. Third, vertical integration means that the company benefits from a cycle where higher volumes actually improve efficiency and fund the R&D of the next generation. And finally, ongoing migration from 400G to 800G and 1.6T optical transceivers means that each generation will command premium pricing. Using the discounted cash flow analysis, I arrived at a target price of $744.75 per share for Lumentum Holdings Incorporated. Let me take a moment to explain my valuation process. I began with a detailed analysis of Lumentum's recent financial performance, examining both the cloud and networking and industrial tech segments. As you can see, the company has demonstrated explosive growth. I projected revenue growth based on the photonics industry's 30.2% expected CAGR and the industrial tech industry's 19.2% expected CAGR. From there, I projected the income statement out for the next 5 years. Next, I calculated free cash flows to the firm and discounted them back to present value using an estimated weighted average cost of capital of approximately 4.6%. I reached this WACC after analyzing Lumentum's capital structure, beta, and the current risk-free rate. After discounting back to present value and calculating the terminal value, I arrived at an equity value per share of $744.75. Whew, that was a lot to cover. Now let's move on to some investment risks. Lumentum, like any business, faces risks. The company is highly dependent on cloud and networking operations, which do make up approximately 86% of total revenue, creating customer concentration risk. Any slowdown in data center spending could significantly impact performance. Lumentum is also reliant on continued AI infrastructure investment. Economic downturn or shifts in spending could reduce the demand for optical components. Finally, Lumentum is vulnerable to semiconductor manufacturing disruption. Equipment failures or chip yield issues could impact revenue during this critical growth phase. However, as a technology leader with a wide moat in the high-growth photonics industry, Lumentum is uniquely positioned to endure these risks and I believe remains a worthy investment. Let's now discuss ESG. Lumentum demonstrates strong ESG performance within the technology hardware sector. On the environmental front, Lumentum has committed to achieving net zero Scope 1 and Scope 2 greenhouse gas emissions by 2030. The company has also received the EcoVadis Platinum member for 2 consecutive years, placing it in the top 1% of companies assessed globally. The company maintains occupational health and safety standards at each of its facilities and enforces RBA Code of Conduct standards throughout its global supply chain. Socially, Lumentum exceeded its target of 10% African American representation in new hires and increased women in senior leadership to nearly 21%. On the governance side, Michael E. Hurlston serves as president and CEO of Lumentum Holdings Incorporated, appointed on February 7, 2025. He brings significant experience in semiconductors and succeeded the previous CEO, Alan Lowe, who previously served in the position since 2015. The market reacted positively to this change as the stock grew from the mid-80s to the low 300s during that year. Here's the fascinating part. Lumentum isn't just selling the bricks to build AI, they are also simultaneously using AI to optimize their own operations. On the product side, every trading run, every ChatGPT conversation, every autonomous vehicle relies on data centers packed with GPUs that must communicate at incredibly low latency. Lumentum's optical transceivers and EML chips are literally the veins of AI infrastructure. But Lumentum also leverages AI internally. The company uses machine learning to optimize the yield of chips in its indium phosphide fabrication processes, and it uses AI-powered quality control to detect defects and predict a component's reliability. AI also helps with predictive maintenance to reduce equipment downtime. This dual relationship with AI positions Lumentum at the absolute center of the technology revolution happening right now. In conclusion, here is what I would like you to take away. My recommendation is a buy on Lumentum Holdings Incorporated with a target price of $744.75 per share. Some key things to remember is that Lumentum is uniquely positioned for the AI revolution with an exceptionally wide moat. Their vertical integration and dominant market share create durable competitive advantages, and they are positioned at the nexus of the photonic industry's exponential growth driven by the insatiable demand for AI. The company has successfully transformed from a diversified optical component supplier into a focused facilitator of AI infrastructure, with 86% of their revenue now tied to the highest growth segment of the technology sector as a whole. For all these reasons, I believe Lumentum will be an excellent investment. Thank you for your time.